Hey guys, wanted to do a video about ammo for your favorite Russian rifle, AK, SKS, whatever. I'm doing this video because one of the guys I follow, and he follows me as well, vanprepper, did a video about what ammo he felt was best for storing up for a shit-hits-the-fan scenario, and he recommended Golden Tiger, which is a really good and very well respected ammo for the AK and SKS. And I wanted to do a video myself, just kind of showing some different ammos, what to look for in ammo that you're storing long term, and why Golden Tiger is kind of considered kind of like the best choice. And going over it, and guys, you have to forgive me a little bit. Coming down with a bit of a cold, so I'm a little coffee and nasally here, so bear with me on this video. Alright, so first of all, your 7.62x39 ammo comes in pretty much all different shapes and sizes, from your, American-made brass case to your Russian-made steel cased with various coatings, and even stuff like this Chinese-made copper washed. Typically, you're going to see stuff in 124 grains or 154 grains, either full leather jacket, hollow point, or soft point. Now, some people say that the 154 grain is more accurate than the 124 grain, and I see a lot of convincing evidence that backs that up. So that is one thing to consider if you do find the 154 grain. For some reason, it does seem to be a little more accurate. Could it be individual rifles? Yes, but there are a lot of people out there who make that claim, so I just wanted to throw it out. Now, vanprepper, he made a lot of his basis for the best shit-hits-the-fan ammo based not on accuracy, but on how long the ammo will store. And for good reason. Steel-cased ammo corrodes very easily, which is why it's all coated. And you're going to see primarily two different kinds of coatings, which would be, number one, which would be this laquer, which you can see it's like this green painted on lacquer. Or some of the modern stuff, well, not modern, but they've been doing this for a while, is the poly coating, which is thinner and not as good. The lacquer, for whatever reason, I'm not an expert on lacquer versus poly, the lacquer for some reason seems to last longer and prevent corrosion better than the poly coating. So, but for some reason, here in America, we've kind of switched over to the poly coatings. And internet rumor is that the lacquer coatings kind of pissed off the AR-15 crowd, so there was a big request for the poly-coated ammo, and that kind of went through the markets, and now the majority of what you see has a poly coating. And if you watch and you do a lot of research on the internet, you'll see that people take lacquer-coated ammo and poly-coated ammo, and the poly coat will corrode relatively quickly. Even just handling it, you'll get corrosion. And I've gone through my collection, and there's quite a few boxes I have, which you can see here. This ammo has a little bit of corrosion to it. It's very light, but it does have it. And that's just from being a really thin application of poly. So lacquer coated tends to be people's favorites. I, on the other hand, am a very big fan of the copper wash Chinese stuff, which I mentioned to vanprepper in a comment. As you can see, this stuff here is 40 years old. It still looks really good. It's got the sealer on the bullet and the primer. And you just got to watch. You got to look and basically do a Google search on the factory. All the Chinese ammo will have a factory stamp and a year on it. So if you actually double check the year and the factory, you can find out if it has a steel core, and you can also find out if it was corrosive ammo as well. Now, a lot of this old Norinco stuff is lacquer coated, but doesn't have the seal on the bullet and the primer. So ideally, what you want is a bullet that has a good sealant, like this here, like this Wolf Military Classic, with a good seal on the primer You see the red in the primer there. And around the bullet, but it's also lacquer coated. And Golden Tiger is just that. It has lacquer coating and a really good seal on both ends, so they tend to be very durable and long-lasting ammo. Now, what I have here, guys, this Norinco ammo is out of the 90s, still in great shape, works perfect. This Chinese stuff, I've got stuff from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and it all works great. Some of it's corrosive, so you do have to pay attention to that. And even this stuff, you know, I've had some of this stuff get a little lightly corroded. You know, it still doesn't give me a hard time. It still will shoot. And the brass, you know, this is 20-year-old brass, mind you guys. This is from the 90s. This is old Remington UMC. And there's some very, very slight corrosion on some of it, but not much. So, overall, you know, I really like the Chinese stuff. I think that's mostly from my experience in shooting it. I found it just shoots well with my rifles. It may not with yours, and that's okay, but I found it to be, shoots very good, and it doesn't have the lacquer or the poly coating on it, so you don't have to worry about any buildup in your barrel, or if you're running a really, really hot gun, of it coming off into the chamber, or, you know, stoppages due to coatings building up in your firearm. So I do like it. You just do have to be careful that you're not getting corrosive ammo. There really is this butter zone on the Chinese ammo where it's not corrosive but still copper wash. So you really gotta hunt around for it. Primarily everybody uses the Tula nowadays. You can see this is some on a stripper clip here. This is relatively new, probably only a year or two old. So you can see there's really no corrosion on it yet. But the modern stuff, you can see that, you know, like Walmart Tula has no coating. Nothing on the bullet, nothing on the primer, unlike this Wolf Military Classic. Is it a deal breaker? No, but if you were to get these bullets wet, this one, of course, would stand a much better chance of surviving without getting ruined. So, you know, if you are storing these in a basement or wet environment, it is something to note. So, just to kind of recap, you know, of course the best ammo is lacquer coated with a good seal at the primer and the bullet. But, you know, like I said, my preference, I do like this copper washed Chinese stuff. A lot of people like the Yugo military surplus stuff, and that's exactly that. It's a lacquer coated. You know, if you are storing things in a wet basement or a damp garage or anything like that, you do want to make sure you're not getting, you know, the poly coated stuff, because you are going to get, you know, this is storing it indoors and there's a little bit of corrosion on it. Storing it someplace damp, you can get a lot of corrosion in a hurry. So with that in mind, storing up, always be wise. I know the Walmart Tula is like $5 a box. It's rather inexpensive. It's easy to stock up on, but at the same time, bear in mind, shit hits the fan if you have to walk out your door with 500 rounds of ammo, you know, and you're slugging through the snow and the mud and the dirt. How corroded is that going to get, you know, over a relatively short period of time? So it is something rather important to note. And, you know, I use the Tula stuff and I burn through this pretty quick. That's my range ammo, my cheap ammo. I use it for fun, but I tend to hold on to more the lacquer coated stuff. At least now. I didn't always know this, guys. When I was younger, I used to keep the Wolf and the Tula and burn up things like Golden Tiger and Silver Bear and Brown Bear and all that, because I thought, you know, they were inferior. But now, you know, I do realize that the lacquer coating is actually more desirable. I used to think the lacquer coating would, you know, screw up your guns, because, you know, I believed everything I read on the forums. So, you know, you live and you learn. But there it is. Those are just a few of the different rounds I have and what to look for when you're buying, just so you're not buying up solely on the Tula stuff, that you are out there exploring the market and making sure you're picking up good lacquer coated stuff just in case.